walking back 10 years, 15 years or so ago, early on, David Cram's a nobody. He doesn't quite know what he wants to do. He hasn't had success, so he really's got to fake it. Maybe you had the idea the world's my oyster. How do you decide to put, and I'm asking this question for all those early entrepreneurs in their career journeys too. What are the things that you said, like, I want to go do X and here's how I'm gonna go fake it until I make it and show off that success in go in a direction that makes sense for me. How did you think through that? What pushed you to enable, one step in front of the next that compounded on itself to get you to the point where you have a house in the Hollywood Hills now?
Great question. And it's literally, you hit the nail on the head, one foot in front of another. And it wasn't just 10 years ago. I mean, quite frankly, I think I was a nobody for a long time. All right. There were many times in my life where I was almost broke. I wasn't always successful. And if you ask anyone that has either tasted a recent success or is successful today by whatever their measure is, if they're actually being honest, then they will tell you that, well, I wasn't always successful. I wasn't born this way. Unless you're a trust fund baby, you're not born a multimillionaire. And I'm not a trust fund baby. I'm completely self-made. So, there was certainly a time where I literally had nothing. There's many times in my life where I've had nothing. And this is definitely in the past, decade. And I think the most important thing is you have to have a plan, right? You can't just sit on the couch, struggle to get out of bed. You can't be depressed. Oh, I have nothing going for me. I have no clients. I don't know what kind of business I want to start. Nobody's paying me money. No one's paying attention to me. I'm not the hottest dude at the bar. I'm not picking up the ladies. Like, there's a time in every entrepreneurial journey where they're down and out, or at least they feel that way. And it's imperative to pick yourself back up and have a fucking plan, right? You don't have to have an earth-shattering idea for the next Facebook or Microsoft or Google or TikTok, but you have to have a clear vision of what do you want to do, right? When your back's against the wall, when you have nothing, you also have nothing to lose. And you could assume a higher level of risk. And that's where I felt I was, a few times, is my back was against the wall. I was struggling to make rent. I was consulting for a couple companies, 2 of which didn't pay me. Was barely making enough to live. This is back in my SF days. And I was kind of lost. I quite honestly didn't know what to do. Like, do I start my own business? Do I help other people start businesses? Like, do I, go back to my roots, which is I'm a finance guy, right? So I was kind of like, well, what do I do? And I was smoking a joint one night and I had a pen and a piece of paper. And I was like, you know what, David, I'm going to write a plan. I'm going to write a plan down, literally pen and paper, old school style. My goals. How I'm going to get there, right? And I'm definitely not going to regurgitate it step by step, but it was so rudimentary. It's like, it started with, get one client that will pay me X. All right. And once I secure that one client that'll pay me X, and most people dream big and they're like, I want to make $500 million and I want to go IPO and all this stuff. But you really got to start small, and everything big starts with very humble, beginnings. And I really just wanted to secure my first client that would help me get to my next milestone. And my next milestone was to pay my rent. It wasn't to make $1 million. It was literally to pay my rent to afford to live in an expensive city like San Francisco. All right. And the rest was history from there. It's like my singular goal was get a client, get a company that valued me enough to pay me money on my own.